Hello everyone, so this is week 14 and in week 14 we started with Arraylist and Generics. So in this lecture we are going to solve few programs based on Arraylist and Generics. So I have 4 programs for this week. Let's start with question number 1. Alright, so let's first understand the question. What is our question? Our question is, write a Java program that get 10 real numbers. Real numbers are double numbers from the user using an array list. So we will get 10 double numbers from the user and using an array list. Calculate and display the total and the average of this number. So we will calculate the total and average of these numbers. And then we will ask the user to enter a number. And then we will check whether that number can be found in the array list document. Right, so let's just start with it. Alright, so I will create a class, empty Java class. Alright, so let me just change the path. It's my lab. Okay, let me just make it question 1. Alright, now in this we need to have a scanner class also, because we are taking the 10 numbers from the user, and also we are taking over here the number which we need to search it. So we need to have import java.util.scanner and import java.util.arraylist. You can have import java.util.star also. Alright, so let's start with it. Public class question 1. So public static void main string args. Alright, now let's start with it. So first thing is we need to define our array list. The very important thing or very beautiful thing about array list is we need not to define the size of our array. So array list, then followed by the type double, followed by our name, let's make it a list, is equals to new array list. You can make it empty or you can put it as double. You can put it as double or you can make it as empty. And then, so I have not defined the size of my array list. Alright. Yeah. Okay, even if you make it as empty, it will not give you a error. Either you can define this type over here, or you leave it in empty angular brackets, it will not give you an error. Okay, so let's first of all take the numbers from the user. Scanner kb is equals to new scanner system.in. Alright, so just we take the numbers, system.out.println print please enter the 10 numbers. Please enter 10 numbers. Alright, now we take the numbers. So for taking the numbers, we need to make a for loop for int I is equals to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. And what we do, let's just define some double val is equals to kb dot next double, kb dot next double. So this is, we can enter the numbers. Let's just check it whether we can enter the numbers or not. Then I will calculate the sum and average. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Alright, so I have entered the 10 numbers, right? Now I need to calculate the sum and the average. So I will do everything in the same loop. What I will do, I will define a variable sum is equals to 0. And what will I do? I will add the value. So sum is equals to sum plus value, right? So now what will I do? Okay, now let's just check it. Is it just displaying? Okay, let's first of all display something over here. We come out of the loop. System.out.println. Let's just print the values are. Let's print the values first of all. So where are my values stored? In my list. Alright. So what will I do? List.add value. I just remove this line before I do the sum. Let's just ignore it. Let's just check whether my values have been added to the list or not. Does it displays me the array list or not? It's val. Alright. Let's just check whether it is added in the array list or not. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, right? So my array list has been created. I have added the values, right? Now let's just check. Let's just calculate the total and the average. So sum is equals to sum plus value, and here are we going to display it. So the total is sum. The average is I will not divide it there, rather what I can do over here, plus sum divided by 10, right? This is how we calculate the average. Let's just check it, because the sum of numbers 1 to 10, their total is 55. Okay, so where is the value? Sorry, it should be val. Alright. Okay. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Their total is 55, right? And the average is 5.5, because 55 divided by 10 is 5.5. So you can enter any other numbers and then you can try to calculate their sum and then find their average. Alright, now what we want to look? We want to look for a number in the list. So system.out.println, please enter a number that you want to look in the list. So here we ask the user to enter the number. It should be print. Let me just write it print. Alright. Now we will take the number. Let's just take the number. Okay, in the sum maybe, or you can define some another variable. Let's just define some another variable. Double num is equals to kb dot next double. Is equals to kb dot next double. Now I have to look for a number. So how can I look for a number? I can like check for the index, or I can like check like if some list contains that number, or if I can check like the index of I can check the number also. We can make it as a sum. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will check the index. Remember, if list dot index of num, whatever the number we have specified, and index is not equal to -1, because in the last class we understand some methods, and index of methods will return -1 if the number is not found in the list, and it will return 0, or it will return the number if it is found in the list, right? So if the index is not equal to -1, then what it should do, system.out.println the number is found, right? Else what it should do, system.out.println the number is not found, right? Alright, okay, fine. So let's just do it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Alright, I want to look for a number, maybe 4. Number is found. If I want to look for a number, for example, which doesn't exist, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. For example, if I want to look for a number, maybe 88, the number is not found, right? So we are done with the question. If you want, you can print if the number is found, you can print the index also where that number is found. So you can like write over here plus index or index of number, you can print it. Alright, so let's move to the next question. The next question is, write a Java class named Arraylist-Sort. So the name of our class is Arraylist-Sort, that has two static methods, selection-sort and Bubblesort, and it takes ArrayList, which is of string type, is an argument. So that means my ArrayList is of string type. So I have to define two methods, selection-sort and Bubblesort, which will take ArrayList as ArrayList, and the type of that ArrayList is a string as an argument. Alright, let's just start with this question. So the name of my class is, let me just check it, Arraylist-Sort. Arraylist-Sort. What do I need to do here? It sorts the number. Okay. So I will take just util.star, import java.util.star. Alright, no need, if you want you can have a scanner class, because I can put the numbers statically inside my program. Okay, public class Arraylist sort. Now I have the main method, but I need to define my two methods, which is Bubblesort and the selection sort outside the main method. Public static void main string args, and both the methods should be static, which I need to define it. Alright, so let me define first of all my array list, because when it is mentioned in the program that it accepts array list as a string, that means my array list should be defined as a string. Alright, so let me define my array list. Array list is of type string. Array list of type string, let me make it a list, is equals to new array list, and I just leave it as empty. Alright, I just add few strings, list dot add, let me just write the names of the fruit, banana, list dot add mango, list dot add orange, list dot add apple, list dot add apricot, okay, list dot add what else is the fruit? Grapes. Alright, so I have added it. Okay, what I need to do now, I need to make two static methods, selection sort and bubble sort. So that means I need to make two methods. Why here? Okay. Alright, so I need to remove it. Okay, so what I need to have, two static methods, bubble sort and selection sort, to sort the list, right? Okay, let's make first of all selection sort method. Let me just check. Array list string list. Okay. Where is the error here? So you need to mention it. It will not accept it, right? Okay. Alright, now we need to make two methods. I can make it as a public method or as a private method, but the method should be static because I will call it from the static method. Let me make it static, private, static. I will make it as void, and let me make it as selection sort. Selection sort. And what do I need to pass over here? I need to pass over here as array list string, and the name of my array list. Alright, so I need to pass array list as an argument inside this method. Alright, now we know the concept of selection sort, that we start from the backward, we start from the highest index and we assume it as the highest index position, and then we want to search for the highest element, and if the highest element or the highest element is found at some index position, then we swap them, right? So we will use the same code for the selection sort, which we have already done. Alright, so I will do it quickly because we have already done that code. So I don't know what is the size of the list, so I will call list.size method -1 and j++. Alright, so this is my outer loop. I need to have the inner loop also. Okay, so here first of all I will define max is at my 0 position. Let's assume that max is at my 0 position. Now let's define the inner loop for int I is equals to 1 and I is less than list.size minus j I++. Alright, then now what we get, we compare because it's a string. Now here we are doing the selection sort on the string arrays, and while we were doing there was one of the question where we sorted the string array using the selection sort. We cannot use greater than or less than operator, rather we need to use the compare to keyword, right? So what we will do, we have a get method and the set method. So for the array list, it will retrieve the method get method if list.get. Why get? Because we want to retrieve the element from the current max position, and now we compare to list.get at the next position because we have initialized it to 0 position, right? So now if it is less than 0, alright, so here if it is less than 0, if it is less than 0, then what we are going to do, we are going to change the position for the max. So what we are going to do here, max is equals to 1. Alright, max is equals to 1. Now after this, now when we have our max, let's come to the outer loop. Let's come to the outer for. Now here what we are doing, we will store the max in a string type variable called temp because we need to swap it, right? So list.get max. First thing is we need to find the maximum element. After we have found out the max element, we will store it in a string variable called temp because we want to swap it. Now we need to get the position also, but the position will be integer, int last position, and what we get the last position as is equals to list.size -1 minus j. Now I need to get what is the value in the last position, right? So string value last position. What is the value in last position and how do I get it? Is equals to list.get last position. Whatever is in the last position is in this integer, I get it. I retrieve it, right? Now we set it as the max. So what we do, list.set, we have got the max. We have got the max, and in the max position we set this value last position, whatever we retrieved in this variable. Alright. Now what we do, then what we do, we need to because there was something in the temp also, so now that temp is needed to be moved to the last position. So this is how we need to do it. List dot set last position followed by temp. So this is how we need to swap it, right? Okay, so let's try to run this method. Okay, let's go through this method again. So we start from 0, we scroll up to -1 of list size dot -1, less than size, because max is equals to 0 we put it, and then we start with the inner loop. When we start with the inner loop, we start it from 1 and we go up to -j, because it goes from 0, it starts from -1, and that's why. Okay, so list dot get max, whatever is at the max, compared to list dot get, it should not be 1, it should be I, it should compare with I. So with the current position at I, right? Now if it is less than 0, then what it should do, it should make it as I, then the max becomes I, right? Sorry, it was not 1, it should be I. Then what we do, we get the max position and store it in the string variable. Then we store the index value of the last position in the integer. Then we store whatever is the value in the last position, we use the get method, and then we swap them, right? So let's just try to run it. Okay, for to be consistent, let me just make their first letters as all capitals, right? Let me make all first letters as capitals, because when we sort there is a difference between capital and the small letters. Alright, system dot out dot println, let's print the the list before. Alright, system dot out dot println list before sorting. Alright, so plus list. Okay, now what we do, we call this method, what is it, selection sort, and we sorry, names are wrong, selection sort, and we pass over here list, and then we print also after selection sort list after selection sort, right? Let's just try to check it whether our logic is correct or not and our program is correct or not. So I have done only selection sort right now. Okay, so list before starting is fine. Apple, APP. Okay, so it's apricot, banana, grapes, mango, GHIJ. Yeah, it's okay. So that means my logic is working fine. Alright, now let's try to make another sorting method, which is the bubble sort method. Very simple method. Okay, so what I do over here, let me just write it over here. Private static void bubble sort, and I take array list string, and then I pass it as the list. Alright, so bubble sort is very simple. We just need to have two for loops, outer and inner, and we need to compare it. That's it, just like we did. Okay, for int j is equals to 1, j is less than list dot size, and j plus plus. Now we need to have inner for loop. for int I is equals to 0, int I is equals to 0, I is less than list dot size minus j should be, yes, and then j plus plus. Alright, now we will compare. If list dot get at position number 1, at position number 1 dot compare to, and we compare it with the next element, right? List dot get with the next element I plus 1, that means it is compared with the next element, is greater than 0, right? So what we do, I have a temporary variable string temp is equals to list dot get at the current position, whatever the element I have at the current position. So what will I do? List dot set method I comma list dot get at I plus 1 position, right? So this is a little different how my swapping works when we are working with the integers and when we are working with the list. And then we set it list dot set. So what is in my temporary variable? I plus 1. I plus 1 goes to the temp. Alright, so I will call this method. Let me just first of all compile it. Do I have any compilation error? No. So I will call this. Okay, I will just call this Bubblesort list and then list after Bubblesort. Alright, let's just check it. It works fine or no? Okay, so it's the same. So that means our logic is correct. Alright, moving to the next. Now we want a generic method. A generic method where we want to swap or exchange the position of two elements in an array. It can be any two position, position 1, position 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6 or whatever the position we want to exchange, right? So basically we want to swap the two elements of the array, right? Let's just create another program. Question 3. I don't need any import statement. Public class question 3. Public static void main string args. I can create it in the same class or I can write it in a different class. It's up to me. So what I need to do, I need to create a generics class, right, for swapping the two elements of the array. All right, so let's just write a generic. So let's first of all write a generic method, right? Then I will write it in the public static void main. Alright, so what I need to write is, that means it should take two positions because I want to exchange two elements. So public static, let's make it takes some element called t, right, void and swap. Now what the parameters it should take? it should take an array, right, because my elements are stored in array, and it should take 2 elements, so int position 1 and int position 2. That means I want to exchange the elements of the array, right? Okay, so I just declare a variable of t type tm is equals to, and I have some element in the array at position 1. Then what I do, I have some element in the array at position 2, I exchange it in the position 1. So here I am putting it in the temporary variable. My temporary variable is of t type. Array position 1, and what do I put in it? Array position 2, right? And now I have position 2 is empty. So what I do? Array position 2 is equals to temp. So I am done with swapping of the array. I need to display the array also, right? I need to display the array also. Okay, so let's make a method. Let's make a method which displays the array also. We make it a generic method, private static show array, and what it does, it takes array of t type. That's it, because I need to show the elements of the array also. Okay, so what I do, I have for statement for t, and t, let me make it as elements, and what is it? Array. And what we do, we just display the elements, system.out.println, and here we display the elements, right? So we display the elements over here. Then what I do, system.out. I just make it as a print and print ln, just to give a space between them. Alright, now I define my array in the main method. Okay, so I can define it of any type, right? I can define it as a string type or whatever. Let me define it as string array is equals to A E I O. You can write any elements, whatever you want, right? So I have defined an array. How many elements? 5 elements, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So first of all, I just print the array. I have the method show array. So I have made 2 methods, right? Array, and now I swap it. So swap array position 1 and 2. So what is my element at position 1? 0, 1, 2. E is at 1 and I is at 2. Now I should have I and E. Let's check it, and it should show me the array again. it should show me the array again. Yeah, here I should have a void. Okay, it's closed. Okay, let me just remove it. Okay, I haven't mentioned t over here like this. Right? Okay. So A-E-I-O-U, A-I-E-O-U. Alright, so let me just have something over here. System.out.println. Alright. Okay. After doing this, I just give it over here. Let's compile it. Okay. Alright, so AIE. After swapping. Alright, or I want to exchange 1 with 4, 0, 1, 2. I must check, I must have that position. So now U will go in place of E. AUIOE, right? So this is how you can make the method. Okay. Coming to the last question, write a generic class, myMath class, with a type parameter t, where t is a numeric object type, and it extends java.lang.number. Now we will add a method taverage that will take the array list of type t, and it will return the double average of the values which we have in the array list, and we will use the double value method in the number class to retrieve the value of each number as a double, right? A little bit tricky question. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create myMath class, right? With the type parameter t. T is a numeric object type and it extends number class. It adds a method taverage. That method takes array list as a type of t. It takes parameter as array list and the type of the array list is t, and it will return double the average of values in the array list using the double value method in the number class to retrieve the value of each number as a double. So it will print each value as a double. Alright, so what's the name of this class? myMath class. myMath class. We want to use array list also, so import java.util.star or array list, public class myMath class. Now here we have to pay attention over here. The type of the class is t and it extends, see here, it extends java.lang.number. So it extends our number class which is provided in the Java package number. It's our class which is provided in the Java package, right? Now what this class should have? This class should have a method called taverage, right? It should have a method called taverage. So we make a method public double t average What this method does, it takes array list of type T as a parameter. So array list of type T as a parameter, right? Let me call it as a list. So this checks array list of type T as a parameter, and what it does, it returns as a double the average of all the values in the array list, right? It returns double the average of all the values of the array list. So first of all, we will check whether our list is empty or not. If list dot is empty method, then what it should do, it should return 0. Otherwise, what it should do, we need to calculate the sum. So double sum is equals to 0, and we need to use the for loop for int I is equals to 0. I is less than list dot size and I plus plus. So what are we going to do over here? Okay, so we need to convert whatever the values are there in my list to the double value. So sum is equals to sum plus is equals to list dot get at I, whatever the element is at I position, right, dot double value. Double value is a method, right? Double value is a method. After doing this, what are we going to do? I is equals to 0. Okay, what are we going to do? Next, we want to print the average also. It says over here, let me check it. So it returns double the average of the values. Use the double value method in the number to retrieve the value of each number as a double. So we use the double method to retrieve the value of each number as a double value. So now what we are going to do, for T element, and where it is in the list, sum is equals to sum plus element dot double value. So what we are going to do, we are going to find the average, right? Then what it should do over here, it should, now because it has a return type, remember it has a return type, so at the end I need to return something. Return sum, I have the sum divided by list dot size. So it will return the average. Let's just compile it. Alright, it's okay. Now let's go to the main program where we want to use this. Okay, so let's just write the class question 4. So we are going to use the array list. I'll just copy this one. Okay, public class question 4, public static void main string args. Alright, so we are going to create an array list of type double. List is equals to new array list double, and I just make it empty. I don't know how many elements I am going to put in. So list dot add 1.3. Let me just add 4 to 5 elements like this. 3, 4, 5. So let me just make it 2.5, 3.1, 1.8, 5.5, right? Now I am going to call my math class, right? I am going to make the object of my math class, my math class, which is double, it takes double. Let's make an object, right, is equals to new my math class, and I am going to call the method system.out.println. So m.t average, and we are going to pass it over here the list. Let's just check it what it does. Whether it runs or not. Okay. To make it simple, let me just make it 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 and 5.0, right? Okay, so the average is 6. The average is 6. So 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 3 12, 12 plus 2 14, 14 plus 1 15. 15 divided by number, how many elements in the list? 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and double the value of 3 is 6. So this is what my math class returns. It returns double the value of what we have as an average. So we take another example. For example, let me make all the values as 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 10. 10 divided by 5 is 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 2 multiplied by double of 2 is 4. It should return me 4. Let's just check it. Alright, so it returns me 4. So that was all about for the questions this week, and thank you so much.